be here to have the opportunity to be part of a special day for wrestling. I've had the pleasure to wrestle for, to coach with, and most of all, know Mr. Bro Olsen. Bro receiving this honor means a lot to our program and to our community. Over the years, I have learned a lot from Bro. He's taught me how to wrestle, to have respect, life discipline, most of all, and how to enjoy life. In all the years I've known him, I didn't think I'd ever laugh so much while talking to him. If you get a chance tonight, chit-chat with him and you'll see what I mean. Bro dedicated himself to the wrestling program. He traveled every day, 30 miles one way. He lives out in the woods, no running water, no electricity. And I know for a fact he's hit more deer with his car than I have with my rifle. He still writes all our wrestling articles and lends a hand when coaches are needed. Couple stories. We got many, many stories. I've known him since the early 90s. I'm a lot younger than him. First story, I was a 7th grader, my first varsity match. We traveled over to Cavalier, North Dakota. I was filling in, so I was only 86 pounds, wrestling 103. Yeah, I was that small. And I got on the scale, and I looked up at the opponent. He was a senior, had a 5 o'clock shadow. I was a little nervous, but I had one thing on my mind that night was to get my first varsity win. Well, the match started. I walk out there, and I'm all jacked up after talking to the bro. Well, after 2 periods, the score was 14-0, and it wasn't in my favor. And it's my choice. And I look over at the sidelines. Bro says, "Pick up." I'm thinking, pick up? If I pick up, he's going to get away, and the match is going to be done. I said, I got to go down. I got to get away from this guy. He says, "Pick up." So I picked up. Like I said, 5 seconds into the 3rd period, he got away. I was mad, shook hands, came off the mat, and I said, "Bro, why would you make me pick up?" He says, "I only want to give 5 points to the team, not 6. So it made me question about my coach. As I got older, you know, I learned how smart a man this guy is. He doesn't have no TV, like I said, no electricity. Reads a lot. I think I was a junior. We were headed to the state tournament. I'd made it to the state tournament 1997. And of course, from Roseville to St. Paul is about a 6-hour drive if you're headed going without stopping. So you have to find things to do in the van. Well, one year I brought a Trivial Pursuit game with the questions, the Genius Edition. Of course, I didn't know it was a Genius Edition because I know I wasn't that smart. And so I'm going to ask a few questions. None of us were getting the questions right. And Bro's sitting up in the front of the van in the passenger seat. This is when they could have passenger seats. And he says, "What are you doing back there?" So I asked him a question. First one on the top of the card. Read the question, answered right away. Next question, he answered it. I went up and on about 10 cards before he got one wrong. So I said, "Hey bro, you ever thought about that TV show Jeopardy?" No, low profile, he says. I said, "Hey, I'll set it all up, you just give me half your winnings." Well, the only thing I like to say is, I'm proud of you, bro. And on behalf, I think I can say on behalf of every Roseville family member here, we love you.
I'll be quite brief, I hope. If I'm not, you can call my phone number, 2424. I'll answer it. I got on vibrate. That'll get me right away. Yeah, I'd like to thank, I wouldn't even be here. I never planned to be here. It's a great honor. And I tell you, anybody that tried, if there was a pickpocket in this room, and they put like Chuck's phrase, is it Chuck? I'd never grab his wallet. He still looks pretty good for you. Either 79 or 80, right? Yeah, I'm 37. But I want to thank, I got some people with me, because I wouldn't be. I got to talk a little bit about Rose. We'll go a couple quick stories, and you can hook me out of here. I don't care. We'd be here talking afterwards. But I coached with some great coaches that made the difference. I got the honor, but those guys helped me get there. And it's Steve Furseth. He's a short guy with most wrestlers are, it seems. Dale Janicki, a great guy. Dino Husker. And all the coaches have been there since we have left. We coached. And then, of course, we got Donna. You heard her do that woo, woo, woo. I wonder if she did that at home when she and her husband were doing it. I'm not sure. I want to explain to you how tough this is. I called Mr. Ricard. I remember when he was still in high school. And I told him, you know, I don't really have a fancy wardrobe. I says, can I just come with, you know, hooded sweatshirt? And then there was a growl. He says, you better be wearing a suit. You better be wearing a tie. Okay, this is a borrowed coat. These are my grandson's pants. This is Terry Gottsman, the old Greek tie. And you know what I got on that my daughter-in-law bought for me? It's a shirt made in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and that's been rubbing for an hour and a half. I've never worn it. I do own this shirt. I do own the shoes, and I got my underwear on it. I want to explain one thing and I'll go quick. We're not Apple Valley. We're not even the University of Minnesota, so I had to recruit a little bit. And I worked at Marvin Winters. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the only one that taught special ed that could teach fractions. Right? So I had to recruit, so they said, hey, there's this Husker kid. Why don't you give him a call? I came in from Marvin's, and Gary Hogan said he was high. Hey, why don't you check out this Husker kid? So I called his mother's house. I looked it up in the phone book, and she said, I said, there's Ordine there. Oh, she says, he's up at the Silver Dollar. Oh, I'm thinking, okay. So I had to look that up, and I called up there. I'm thinking, he must be a janitor already. That's pretty good. So I asked the bartender, bartendress, I guess, and she said, I said, is Ordine there? And he said, yeah. And all of a sudden, the kid says, this is Ordine. I says, look, are you in the 7th grade? I'm thinking, we got a stud. This kid could be good. And what happened, he says, no, you want Ordine Jr. He's over at the hockey arena. Oh, really? Great. So I called up the hockey arena, and this is the truth. I said, can you get a Ordine Husker on the phone? Now, this kid was pretty good. Husker turned out to be pretty good, plus he could read. That helps. If you write his name down, that's even better. So the kid, they say Ordine Husker, Jr. And then it took a while because he had to figure out how to walk off on wood with those skates or whatever he was in. And he came in and picked up the phone and he says, when, what, where, and how? And I said, are you in the 7th grade now, Husker? Are you in the 7th? Yeah. I says, how would you like to try wrestling? Yeah. Can I bring my brother? I says, you can bring your mother, you can bring your grandmother, you can bring all your pals. And it turned out that his brother turned out to be a two-time. He was twice third in the state, and Dino would have got there, if, you know, for the grace of God. So I just want to tell you, we do recruit. There's no difference between Apple Valley and Olsen. If you want to turn me into the Minnesota State High School League, I don't care. I got a guy, Jimmy, can you stand up back there? Jimmy Renfro. Stand up, Jimmy. Now, he looks small from there. Right now, he's no longer a heavyweight. He's a Chris Taylor heavyweight. But the one year we were down there and he was a freshman, we were in the team tournament. And I was walking back to the St. Paul, Radisson, was that where we used to have it? And I saw that subway, and here's this big body leaning against that thing, and I'm thinking, no, Jimmy, you'll break the glass. I thought he was going to steal something, so I went running. I says, come on up to my room, Jimmy. I'll make you a peanut butter sandwich. So I took him in there and made a peanut sandwich. I had to throw him out. He was stealing my sardines. I said, no, that was our boy Jimmy. He was a good kid. I'd like to tell you some other story, but I have to tell you this one about my daughter. My wife is not here. She's putting out a fire, maybe, but she works with it. And so was my son. He was a wrestler. But I have a date here anyway tonight. She's about 23. She's got a nice dress over there. I saw her. I fell in love with her. But they'll very pretty. Okay? So my daughter, April, she's now down in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Her husband's on his 3rd tour in Afghanistan, and that's kind of hard for me because I'm not very pro-war anymore. So, but before she went to St. Ben's, we were at home, and I was coaching, and she said one night, it was just the 3 of us. My boys were all gone, and she said, her mother, my present wife, she said, Dad cares more about his wrestlers than he does about us. And then my wife says, she looked at me and she says, I'm waiting, she's waiting. I said, look, April, when's the last time you won a wrestling match? I mean, that was it. They couldn't argue with that. Hey, you win or not? And you know, I was listening to God. One last final story. I got a vibrating. Okay, now, I mean, really, I'm very shy. It was very hard for me when I gave my first public speech, but that was to a police officer. We won't go there. And this is a fishing story. See, I got these guys out there, they got fishing boats, and they got motors. You know, I go in a kayak. It's a heck of a lot harder. Is that Mr. Nimchuk there? No. I don't. We never could beat him. Well, we tried. Okay. So I'm up there, and we've been fishing. We have to go back to Manitoba to get to Minnesota. But you can't do that unless you call. I don't know if any of you have been up the Northwest Angle. You know you got to get in that phone. So here's Ollie Ullman. He was just a little kid. Now he's 230 pounds. Wrestlers do learn to eat. Right? So he's in there, and he says, what's your birthday? You know, so we gave our birthdays. My birthday was 3/22/44. Gary Przekwas was 12/28/64, and Ollie was 5/26/80. So there was about a 36-year difference. So the Canadian custom guy said, look, you don't have the same name. What's the relationship? Oh, he says, we're all rascals. And the guy says, even the old geezer? I said, I got to find out where this guy is at. Hey, it's a great honor. I never expected. This is like winning the Pulitzer. And that's for writing. I'm a newspaper man, and I can type pretty good. You know what I mean? And I want to thank Steve Ricard. He was very good, and all the rest of these people. Hey, and I got a smile out of Chuck there. And you know what? I got it before you throw me. Okay? When I met Mr. Alexander, where are you, Gary? Where is that guy? There's so many. Hey, I would never steal your wallet. But yeah, I got it right here. You want it? He's tough. They're all tough. Hey, thank you. God bless you. I'll say it first. Thank you very much.
Hang out long enough with that Rosal crowd, you realize that there are some coaches in the audience who have actually been in a seating meeting with this man. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, last but certainly not least, our last inductee of the evening, Mr. Howard.